Thanks for staying with us. It's time for business, and Emmanuel Aboagye-Wiafe joins us in the studio. And Emmanuel, just gone by, I just spoke to Jennifer about, the huge presence of political parties on social media and how that's impacting on, the electoral fortunes, if you like. But what about businesses? Are we seeing their presence on social media?
It is the same way. In fact, social media has now become the preferred mode of advertising and marketing, whether we like it or not. And I think that since it's become the way to go, businesses must leverage and improve their work.
Definitely, they have to leverage. But tell us, what's in business?
Well, in business, there's so much confidence. Well, little confidence, if I may speak it that way. But businesses have improved their confidence level in the economy, as indicated by the business barometer released by the AGI for the third quarter of this year.
All right, give us details.
All right, thank you. And thanks for joining me on business. Business confidence improved marginally in the third quarter of this year. That's according to the latest Business Barometer report by the Association of Ghana Industries. The AGI is attributing the slight increase in confidence to a stable economy. Executive Secretary of the Association, Seth Chum Akwabwa, however, tells Joy Business issues such as high cost of electricity and water still need to be addressed.
Well, the post-challenge with electricity is still a major issue. Last year, what we experienced was inadequate supply, unreliable, irregular, and inconsistent supply of energy. And businesses complained a lot. There's no doubt about it. Consistently, it was featuring our business barometer as one of the key constraints. So we're happy that this year we've seen some stability. It cushions them a little bit. But then the stability has also brought in its wake another kind of challenge, which is the cost. And today, from the Business Barometer report, electricity cost still remains the highest. It was so in the second quarter, it is so in the third quarter. What it means is that the issue of electricity is critical to business development, critical to industrial development, critical to development of manufacturing. And there are different aspects to it. One aspect is the reliability, regularity of supply. The other aspect is the cost. We've managed to handle the regularity of supply, but then the cost we haven't. So it is still featuring as a major issue. We need to have the two happening at the same time to become very competitive. It's not enough to have regular supply, which you cannot use and become competitive. Mind you, the cost of energy is part of your cost of production and therefore impacts on competitiveness. So you need to have the two working in tandem so that you can say, yes, I'm competitive with all these fronts. Then my competitiveness is not just limited to Ghana. I can also go out there, sell my products out there and become very competitive in the other markets as well.
The International Trade Center has launched the first ever SME competitiveness report. The report identified difficulties in accessing credit and the inability of SMEs to produce high-valued added products as some of the key factors making them uncompetitive. Senior officer at the International Trade Center, Himan Manson, has been shedding more light.
The highest scoring areas are related to the firm, the SME's capability internally to produce and to understand how to manage their business. Having said that, there is a lot of effort that is still required in the way these companies are managing and measuring efficiency, the way these companies are understanding how to adapt in order to compete, how to develop new products, how to innovate. Yeah, essentially this is the area where a lot of effort is required at the company level. This comes together with market incentives. What is the incentive for these companies, and are these companies properly connected to market information so that then it makes sense for them to innovate, for them to adapt. Now, on the global level, the area where Ghana is not scoring so well is related to the access to finance. And this has been voiced here today by most of the private sector. This does not mean that access to finance mechanisms and instruments are not there. They are actually there. It simply means that companies are finding it hard to access and benefit from those mechanisms. And that is hindering competitiveness from the company point of view.
Now, businesses have been advised to critically examine energy policies that have been proposed by political parties before deciding on which candidate to vote for, as the country prepares before the December polls. That's a call from the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, speaking at the launch of a document dubbed Citizens Energy Manifesto, which is aimed at informing businesses, especially about the proposed energy policies. Executive Director Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam said businesses should be more interested in the feasibility of the proposed policies.
For the power sector, there are, 27 different policies, promised by the parties. And for the oil and gas sector, 28 different policies are promised. As far as the oil and gas sector is concerned, for the 28 different policies, the NDC promised 12 of them, while the MPP and CPP each promised 17 out of the 28. When it comes to the power sector, out of the 27, this time is the reverse. The CPP promised 12, the MPP 18, and the NDC 15. Okay, but if you go through all these policies, the 28 policies for the oil and gas sector, we see more differences between the parties than we see agreement between them. In other words, they have unique policies which do not cut across the policies of other parties. But when it comes to the power sector, we see more consensus. For instance, the NDC and the MPP agree on 10 policies, okay, that they will do. And so we see more consensus between the parties. But why not? The oil and gas sector is new. Some of the parties are yet to even appreciate what the oil sector means. And some of them, I believe, will be talking to experts here and there. And so the likelihood that you will have different unique policies coming from them on how they can address the oil and gas sector challenges is high. But when it comes to the power sector, these are challenges that have been with us. We've discussed the solutions over and over. Various government reports, consultants have done work, and they are recommending the same solutions, the same solution everywhere. And so it is not surprising that these parties have, some commonness as far as the policies to addressing the power sector is concerned.
The Council for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEG, is demanding an outright rejection of the proposed implementation of the 550 ppm by the National Petroleum Authority following the outcome of a report by European agency Public Eye in conjunction with the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP. At a press conference in Accra, the Council raised concerns about the way the NPA is currently going about the reduction in the sulfur levels of fuels imported into the country. Vice Chairperson of the Council of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is also the General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Solomon Kote.
It has come to light that we are importing a lot of contaminated fuel into the country, especially in the area of diesel. Now, in diesel, we have some element of sulfur, and the sulfur element in our diesel in Ghana, the ppm is so high to the point that it destroys the vehicles. Its emission to society is not the best for human health, and to the unsuspecting Ghanaian public, we buy these things not knowing the content. So this press conference is also to draw the NPA's attention that if you are the sole authority to regulate the OMCs and the BDCs, and these are the kind of fuel they are importing into the country, okay, what are you doing about it? We note again that they go around and they try to test check the fuel that they have in their tanks, okay, underground. When they test and it is contaminated, it's not matching the 10 ppm, all they do is to fine you 10,500 Ghana cedis per tank underground. So if you have 3 tanks, then you are going to pay over 31,500 Ghana cedis. We are asking, is that the best thing to do? Because if the fuel over in that particular fuel station is contaminated, then why not ask them to go for further refine and then get the toxic out of it, or you should go and dump them somewhere so that the harmful effect of it doesn't come on our vehicles, our machines, our factories, and then to the human element of it. This is not being done. This is what we are questioning, because at least we have cited the pharmacy example that if you are selling an expired drugs and then the Food and Drugs Board happen to come in there, they ask you take them out, okay, and then they are destroyed. Why this one you only find and you still allow it to be there? They've taken some steps, but those steps that I've taken are not in the direction of the demands that we are putting across, because we expect to ensure that if in Europe, in the Asia, in Americas, they have stopped using, fuel carrying ppm of 500 plus 10 years ago, then we are saying we rather want to start 500 ppm from January. We think this is not acceptable. That is why in this country today, if you visit any Shell filling station, they will tell you we have the VPAR, okay, and the VPAR content is far richer quality, okay, which is on lead, and then the lead fuel carry these things, and these are not helpful to us.
And on that note, we end tonight's business. Thank you very much for watching, and for more business stories, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We have more stories coming up. Don't go away. Good evening.